All right, welcome to the Explainer. So today, we are diving into a single tweet that points to a massive $500 million bet to completely overhaul what you see on X. Let's get right into it. So it all starts right here. A pretty casual-looking post from Elon Musk, but it's packed with some absolutely huge claims and some pretty dense technical jargon. This one sentence, this is the mystery we're going to unravel today. These are the exact questions that jump out, right? What is he really building here? How does it actually work? And why in the world would it cost so much? We're going to break it all down piece by piece. Okay, so first things first, let's just tackle that giant number that catches everyone's eye, 20,000 GPUs. What is this even about? Well, let's be super clear here. This is not just some little tweak or a minor update. What X is doing is fundamentally ripping out and replacing the entire engine that ranks every single post in your feed. They're swapping out the old referee for a new one that's supposed to be way smarter. So that leads us right to the core of the tech itself. What does it actually mean for your feed to be powered by Grok? The old way was all about speed and playing the odds. It used simple models to basically guess what you're most likely to click on or like. But this new way? It's all about understanding. Instead of just looking at clicks, it uses a seriously powerful AI to get the actual meaning and the context of the posts. The goal is to match what you're looking for, not just what you've clicked on before. And the brain behind this entire operation is something called Grok 4 Mini. The best way to think of it is as a specialized genius. It's a powerful but much more efficient version of a huge AI that's been custom built for one job and one job only, to understand everything on X and rank it just for you. All right, so we have this new genius referee. But how does it actually do its job? Let's pop the hood and take a look at the mechanics. Now, this is the crazy part. This whole incredibly complex process has to happen in literally the blink of an eye. We're talking under 200 milliseconds. Every single time you pull down to refresh your feed, it is an insane race against the clock. The whole thing really boils down to three main stages. First, you find a big list of potential posts. Then, you let the AI genius pick the best of the best. And finally, you send those winners straight to your screen. So, step one is all about speed. See, the system can't possibly show Grok every single post on X. That would take forever and cost a fortune. So instead, a lightning-fast filter just zips through millions of posts and pulls out a few thousand candidates that look like they might be a good fit for you. And this is where the real magic happens. That big list of thousands of posts gets handed over to Grok 4 Mini. This is where it acts like the ultimate curator, deeply analyzing the content, the nuance, the context of every single one to pick the absolute top 50 that are the most relevant to you in that exact moment. Okay, but wait. Running a massive AI on thousands of posts in just milliseconds? That sounds, well, kind of impossible. And it would be if not for some really, really clever engineering shortcuts. So the first trick is something called a KV cache. Honestly, just think of it like a super smart bookmark for the AI. Instead of having to reread your entire user history, your whole life story on the app, every single time you refresh, it just picks up right where it left off. This saves a massive amount of processing time. The second trick is just genius. It's called speculative decoding. The analogy they use is perfect. It's like having a fast junior intern quickly whip up a rough draft of recommendations. Then the senior engineer, that's the big Grok model, doesn't have to do all the work from scratch. It just has to quickly review and approve it. It's another huge speed boost. Okay, so we've got this insane, super fast, wildly expensive system, which brings us right back to what Elon said in that tweet. Why exactly is the juice worth the squeeze? What's the actual payoff for you? Well, the big payoff here is a feed that actually gets you. Because it's a large language model, it can understand things like nuance and sarcasm and even jokes. It can see a post written in Spanish and know that it's relevant to your interest in English. Essentially, they're gunning for that addictive, almost magical quality of TikTok's For You page. But the idea is that this is powered by a much, much smarter brain. At the end of the day, this is the whole point. The ambition here is to totally transform how the feed feels. They want to move away from something that feels like a random slot machine, just trying to get you to click, to a feed that feels like an intelligent, relevant, and actually interesting conversation that's been tailored just for you. This all sounds amazing, right? But it comes at a price tag that is just astronomical. So let's circle back to those numbers from the original tweet and really look at what it costs to run this thing. 20,000 GPUs. I mean, just let that number sink in for a second. That is a staggering amount of highly specialized, very expensive hardware just to run the recommendation part of this algorithm for everybody. And to give you an idea of what that actually means, keeping 20,000 of these things running 24/7 sucks up over 14 megawatts of electricity. That is literally enough energy to power a small city. All of it, just dedicated to ranking your social media feed. And when you translate all that hardware and all that energy into dollars, the numbers are just jaw-dropping. Just renting those GPUs from a cloud provider like Amazon or Google could cost up to $500 million a year. Then you add in the power bill, storage, engineers, and the total cost to run this is easily over $500 million per year. So why would anyone spend this kind of money? Well, here's the bet. It's the ultimate gamble, really. The thinking is that a smarter, more engaging feed will make you spend just a little bit more time on the app. And at X's massive scale, even a tiny 5% bump in how long you spend scrolling could generate hundreds of millions in new ad revenue, potentially enough to pay for this whole thing. And that leaves us with the big question, the $500 million question, I guess. Are we looking at the actual blueprint for the future of all personalized content? A future where AI understands us on an almost human level? Or is this the world's most expensive experiment? A massive, high-stakes bet that just might not pay off? I guess only time will tell.